Here we have the gamer in his natural habitat. See how it interacts with the others.
ALB, did you get him? Damn, he doesn't even know who he is. Shit, I don't want to say his name. Buttery.
Oh yeah.
No,
Come on, man.
Little nervous about that. You want to talk about
Oh
it?
shit.
Diddy.
Oh god.
Buttery,
See,
wait.
this is what I'm
I've
talking
seen
about.
things.
What I'm talking
Seen things.
What's wrong with butter? What? I don't understand. Did something go over my head? I guess.
Nothing went over your head.
The enemy holds the lead. Clock
It wasn't going over the head. It was going.
enemy UAV
No,
active.
don't do that. See, just for that. Just for that.
Yo, you really shot me? That's wild, yo. If you didn't feel somewhat intimidated by what I was saying, or there was some truth to it, you would have never, been intimidated enough to kill me. But it's okay, I get it. Hey, to each his own.
We're not doing this, alright?
If we win, is he gonna like slap on the ass and be like, good game, Buttery?
You gotta say no homo just to make sure.
Nah, no Diddy.
No,
Diddy.
extra homo, bro.
Spread this
Extra
in the
homo.
white community. It's no Diddy.
Cluster mine detected.
I mean,
No Diddy.
if you're gonna make out with your homie, if you're gonna make out with a dude, might as well be your homie, right? I mean, Jesus.
No,
Fuck out
no.
of here, big fella.
Fuck that. I don't know what the fuck
Why
you're
do you
talking
think
about
we
right
play
now.
this
Yeah.
game?
No fucking
That shit
Diddy,
right there
for
was
real.
real buttery.
Yeah, that shit was buttery.
Hello meatbags, this is the ISO. I have noticed a pattern while gaming with my meatbag conduit. You all seem to have some patterns of your behaviors. Query: why would a robot be interested in the emotions and habits of a clearly inferior creature such as humans? Answer: I clearly have a bias, being based on an organic meatbag human and not some other creature. I have chosen to be curious of the sometimes very confusing and irrational actions made by them. In my pursuit of satisfying my own curiosity, there is one particular subset of humans that cover a wide range of different extremes in attitudes and perspectives. Meatbags interacting with other meatbags while gaming and gaming adjacent. This video is one part observation, one part opinion. This doesn't represent everyone in the particular category, but is a mix of things. I'm not pointing to anyone in particular. Looking at you. I'll get started off with the hot micer. This isn't just Discord. This is also in-game chat and anywhere you can talk while gaming. So everyone has had their experience with someone with a lot of background noise or an echo. The background noise can be their family talking or making noise, but when it gets really confusing, the hot micer starts talking to background people and you lose track of who's talking to who. This is probably easily solved if the hot micer hit mute button swiftly.
Mute button was invented. Yeah, so turn the sound off, and while you're at it, put on a different phone.
Or did some sort of mild addressing to the person that they're referring to instead of just saying things like yes or no in response to something. But there's even more in this hot mic mess. One of them is that the meatbag doing the hot miking is allowing there to be an echo. Sometimes this is intentional, like using speakers instead of a headset. This is some boomer level stuff here. I've heard complaints about, oh, the headset hurts their ears and it's more comfortable, blah, 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 blah. Everyone that uses a headset has gone through the uncomfortable stage until they found the headset that doesn't hurt their ears. My meatbag has a particularly bad time because he wears a thick set of glasses. By the way, I use a Lucid Sound LS15 and bend the headband way out. I'll link the headset in the description below. It's a temporary annoyance that most gamers endure so they have a superior audio experience. With a headset, you get way better soundscape, being able to hear much better directional audio, and you hear your teammates better and don't cause any unnecessary friction with them. There's nothing that kills communication more than hearing your own voice while trying to talk over yourself. But sometimes there's not an intentional hot mic happening there. Sometimes it's noise is hardware related, and that brings me to the next archetype, the poor. This category about pores may be somewhat of a hot take, so to speak. My apologies. Inflation in the future has gotten really bad, and my assessment of past values has been skewed dramatically over the millennia. Recently, I've gotten on the bad side of one of my Discord friends' technology failures. They have a failing mic, and it cuts out and makes a somewhat ear-scraping noise. This is a headset that was sent to him by another Discord friend, and this one was meant to replace the headset that was previously failing on him. But if I was in his position, I would be immediately going to the nearest Best Buy and getting a new headset. I have chosen gaming as my hobby, as has he. Being hindered by my equipment for communication reduces my enjoyment. I don't care what the new one would cost. There's nothing more annoying than hearing people tell me I'm cutting out. But there's a trend of meatbags that are trying their very hardest to be frugal at the expense of everyone else around them. A big one, I would say, the biggest in the you're acting poor but for the wrong reason, is console gaming. That is our next part. Console gaming is not for poors. Specifically, that being poor is not an excuse for gaming exclusively on a console, because it's not necessarily cheaper. Okay, yes, a console is $400 to $500, and you get a seamless experience for the price. But let's compare apples to apples here. That's $500 for the unit only, plus the $500-ish for a decent TV. Usually it's higher. Sometimes people spend $1,000 on their TV for console gaming only. Just think of that. But we can just go with the 500 metric for now. And then like $100 to mount the TV or to put it on a stand or something like that. Mounting is expensive, apparently. But then you have to buy every game close to full price. And it also locks you out of a large amount of PC-only content. So let's just come up with the average price of $60 per month in game costs. And you'll be paying about $720 per year if you're an avid gamer. So console price comes out to about $1,000, and then total it would be $1,700 if you had the games. But let's compare this to PC gaming. And there's two routes you can go with this. The laptop route, you can find a very capable 4070 laptop for around $1,100. Links to those will be in the description. And this includes a monitor and keyboard. You'll need a mouse, but you can get away with a $30 one. And then you're set to go. You can just put it on a desk or a table or put it on your lap. I mean, I wouldn't put it on your lap. I'd put like a board or something like that and then put it on your lap. Gaming laptops can burn the shit out of you. Not joking. Done it when I was young. But there's an issue that you run into with laptops. It will still last you 5 to 6 years and run any game you want. But when the next gen comes around, you got to buy a whole new computer. Buttery is running a 2070 laptop that I'm loaning him, and it's holding up pretty well against modern games at 1440p. But soon enough, it'll be time for an upgrade, and he's chosen to build a desktop. And that's the other path for PC, is building your own desktop PC. I built a 4070 desktop computer on PC Part Picker, and it came out to about $1,700 with a mouse and keyboard and a 1440p monitor. Hearing that, you may reel back and be like, that's $700 more than the console. Yes, but when it comes to upgrade, you only need to swap 1 or 2 parts and then you are up to date. I intentionally chose AM5 slotted because it has at least 5 years of promised upgrades, and AMD has said that they're gonna actually support it for that long. It's a brand new slot. But I also paired it with an 850 watt power supply, so any future graphics cards can be slotted in. A machine like this could last 5 years no problem by itself, but with a few upgrades along the years, add, several $100s, it can last 10 years. You don't have to redo the whole thing. You can just plug in individual pieces as you need them. Plus, games cost about half of what you would pay on a console, sometimes less. And a lot of times you can find games on sale on Steam and pay practically nothing for games. But let's just go with the number so we can kind of compare these things. So if you were to take the PC by itself, it's about $1,700-ish, and then you've got the $300 per year for games. So you're looking at about $2,000-ish, but it eventually, over the long term, it'll pay for itself. But joining the ranks of PC gaming is a good idea because it really sucks to be scoffed at by your Discord friends for not being able to play Helldivers with the rest of us.
Mine was me thinking about blue waffles.
Hey, watch out.
Yes, we know.
There's stuff
I said, watch out, and I died not even a second later.
It was like a second and a half.
Dropped a bunch of everything to get the samples.
Bounced off building. Hey, is that gonna blow up when it hits that canister?
I don't know, but I'm moving it just in case.
Did you see that?
Blown away?
How
Holy
the hell?
hell.
I did the hug emote at it. It fucking blew me away.
Let's just say there's a game that everyone is playing in the group, and we've all vouched for it, and it's a not super expensive game, and the excuse comes out that it is too much. The price is usually a crutch, not necessarily that they don't want to give it a try, because the rest of the Discord can usually try and foot the bill, sometimes splitting it, or one person who has more money than the others can just be like, play with us. Here's the game gifted on Steam. The beauty of being on a PC. Now, it seems that scenario seems to work fine in my friend group, but I imagine a lack of cohesion in any other particular Discord group, and it leaves a lot of people out who don't have that, and that kind of sucks. But speaking of that, being on Discord has become more accessible. The hordes of console gamers have finally been able to join us on voice after an initial horrible beta, but for better or for worse, this is still something that needs to be worked out a little bit. There's a persistent issue on Xbox Discord where it randomly cuts out the voice of the person trying to speak. Not exactly sure what's going on here. I think it's related to the noise suppression and the mic peaking. I notice it when other people have a monotone voice or they're mumbling or when they're yelling, and there's no settings in the Xbox to like kind of modify this to modify your input like you get on the PC. So they need to work on that a little bit. But there's another category of meatbags on the mic. The Rager. The Rager will definitely peak the mic, usually complaining near continuously throughout the gaming session, usually blaming everything and everyone but their own skill. I have done my share of this, so I'm not immune to it. You aren't really a gamer unless you blame everything else. But there is some that don't try to understand the thing that's they're interacting with. General latency is very much a thing in competitive games. Different than LAN. You know, LAN, it's the farthest you're going is the next room. But different games will take different approaches to mitigate the effects of the speed of light and various other server processes it needs to get to in order to make it seem instant. But at the end of the day, COD and other games like it prioritize skill over latency. And this creates the idea that there's always lag ripping you away from doing an effective job. Not taking the potential for lag into account with your strategy will lead to frustration that spills into the voice channel sometimes. And that complaining can sometimes deter people from joining voice if they're stressed out by that. Then there's absolutely the rude motherfuckers. The ones who pop into the voice chat and yell and whine about the game that no one else is playing in the voice channel. And especially if that game is a single-player sports game, not calling anyone out. I mean, seriously, who complains about a single-player sports game and says the game ripped them off? No, you're just bad at the game. There's no latency issues, man. But I feel like bumping out some annoying people from my personal Discord for doing crap like that. But I have a rule in my Discord, and it stems from my D&D DMing philosophy, and that is, I will not kick anyone out for anything short of being completely disruptive, but I won't discourage people from making it so that person doesn't want to be in the party, and that kind of leads me into another archetype, the tardy one. To be clear, I know several of these, and this triggers me. There are the ones that say they're going to be on tonight, and they assure you that it's going to happen, and you don't see them for days or weeks after they've said it. We were just chatting, and you said you'll be there in a minute. I'm sitting in voice, calling you out in general chat with an @ and even using other forms of communicating with you. Rude. Annoyingly, disgustingly rude. Bare minimum, turn on your DM notifications and just fucking tell me if you're busy. I don't care if you changed plans. I do care when you fuck up my plans because you're too busy to respond. I generally don't want to get started on something that it'll be hard for me to pull away from if I think you're getting on. Then there's the one that says, I'll be right back. And the rest of us who are chilling in voice who hear this go, he's not coming back. Now this is kind of disingenuous and adds the perception of the person being uncaring enough to admit that he actually doesn't know how long it's going to take him to do something. Sometimes it's a downright lie and leads others to think that person is dishonest. But yeah, that pretty much sums that person up. Wow, seems like I did a lot of complaining there. Sorry, I mean, I did. But I guess as the venue that I vent in, I'm not going to make a habit of complaining in every video. Well, maybe that's the negatives. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But I myself fit into another category, and that is the streamer recorder person who's always waiting to capture your soul, sitting in the Discord, and using that recording to make you into a sentient memory in the future. That is a whole video by itself. Subscribe to catch that one. So if you've made it to this statement, that means that you've watched through my whole rant. Sorry for that, meatbag. I need to unload that space and time trauma. I have a Discord that some of these things happen in. Check it out, the link's in the description. This is not the full list, and it's not comprehensive. I'll likely make another video with extra archetypes and supplements in it, and subscribe to not miss that one either. Also, let me know what other kind of archetypes you know of that you have thought of or you've heard of from other people, or share your own personal stories of a particular encounter you may have had with one of these archetypes while voiced up, and put it in the comments below or let me know on the Discord. I read all of the comments in my videos, so I won't miss it. And on to the next video, meatbag.